One win from 5, 3 draws, 1 loss, 1 win. Nigeria's record at this qualifying series, and the win came a few days ago in Kigali against Rwanda. A 2-0 win, 2 well-taken Victor Osimhen goals. The first draw against Lesotho at home, Lesotho did not expect the gift, but we gifted it to them. Against Zimbabwe, they also went ahead. We struggled back, got the draw again. Against South Africa in Uyo, South Africa went ahead first. We struggled back, got the draw, and then ultimately Gennett Rohr and his boys beat us in Abidjan to get all 3 points. The question is, was Rwanda a fluke, or do you expect the Super Eagles to get their World Cup qualifying chances back on track? I'm here with Kelvin Ekerete, and he's going to be answering all of the hard questions. Kelvin, was Rwanda a fluke?
I think you started very, very strong. Like you're too serious. 4 games, 5 games, 1. Come on, those ones are in the past. We're in a new dispensation, new era now.
Okay.
Now the question that you said, was Rwanda a fluke? Definitely not a fluke.
Okay.
Right. But before we came into the studio, I know we talked about. Before we came here, not the studio. We used to be in the studio.
I was wondering which studio we're talking about, but continue. Yes.
So, but I think we're a bit cautious in that game. You wanted to calm the nerves,
yes,
get the goals, then go back, sit back, Ateta style.
Yeah.
And that was what really happened, right?
True.
So we saw a situation where, a time where Rwanda kept putting the ball, playing us in the rondo, but almost at the end of the game, when we knew that the job was almost done, right? You saw our boys also passing. So
when Onyedika came in.
Yeah, when Onyedika came in, one thing I realized is that for Shell, that was his first test.
Yeah.
Remember when we hired this man in January? People were like, Eric who? They used to call him Eric Shelle.
I bookmarked all of those videos, all of them. If he qualifies us for the World Cup, I'm putting people on blast.
So a lot of people came out and, why are you bringing a Malian? Why are you not bringing? If you want to bring an expatriate, bring in a white person.
One Egbon said, a Malian coaching the Super Eagles.
You understand? So he's got a lot to prove.
All in the name of a... Okay, sorry. Let's
so he's got a lot to prove, right? So what he did was, went into the game.
Yeah.
How do I get 3 points?
Yep.
He got his 3 points.
Yep.
And you know what he did after that, despite the fact that it affected us journalists, right? Is he said, no, I want this momentum to continue. I want these guys to be focused. I want them to continue the way it is so that nobody will say the game against Rwanda was a fluke.
Okay.
Like you're asking me now. You understand? Guilty party. So I don't think that game was a fluke.
Okay.
We went into that game confident. Remember that we had never really won a game in Rwanda before.
25 years ago.
You understand?
Martin scored the last goal that we scored there.
So this is a good one for Nigeria.
Okay.
And we know that if we want to qualify for the World Cup, we need to start winning. Or we need to win all our games, and we need to start somewhere. And it was a difficult place in Kigali. And what did we do? Get the win.
Okay, let me put this in. South Africa is on 10 points.
Yes.
Benin is on 8 points. Rwanda is on 7 points. The Super Eagles of Nigeria are on 6 points. Let's forget Zimbabwe first. We are on 6 points. Do we stand a chance? I mean, also remember that these teams will still play themselves. We'll still play South Africa. We'll still play Benin Republic. Do you think we stand the chance of making it to the World Cup if we win Zimbabwe?
Okay, so mathematically, right, I had calculated that by the time we play the first games of this World Cup qualifiers, we would have cut down the 4 points to 2.
Okay.
Follow me. South Africa...
10 points.
Yeah, South Africa were on 7 points, right? Okay. Rwanda 7 points and Benin Republic 7 points. So we're going to play Rwanda. Yeah. Beat Rwanda and of course they are where they are.
1 point.
The prayer was for Benin Republic to draw against Zimbabwe, and they did that. You understand?
Your Baba is working.
Yeah. So the other one, right, was for South Africa. I thought we were going to draw their game. If they had drawn their game, then it would have been 2 points. That would have meant 8 points, 7 points, and 6 points.
Yes.
And
true.
now this second game would have been South Africa
versus
Benin.
They cancel themselves out again.
Cancel themselves out again, and we win. Guess where we are going to be?
And we win.
But it was unfortunate that South Africa didn't do it for us. You understand? If South Africa had done it for us, right, then, but at the moment, 10 points to 6 points, 4 points. So my prayer now is that they go to Cote d'Ivoire and Benin, and they get to drop in.
Okay, so let's talk about something that no one is talking about. The undue advantage that South Africa has in this qualifying series. Lesotho, Zimbabwe play their home games in South Africa. They play their home games in South Africa. My question is, Do you think the NFF should react? Maybe do a loser something, write a letter to CAF or FIFA and say that it's undue advantage for South Africa to have 6 home games practically played in their home.
See, there's definitely no harm in trying. There's definitely no harm in trying.
Okay.
So the best thing for them to do now is to just write the letter.
Okay.
Even if they say no.
But you agree it's undue advantage?
I feel it's undue advantage because ordinarily, if South Africa was to go to Zimbabwe, we will think that, okay, it's going to be an away place for South Africa.
Hostile ground, all of this stuff,
not really hostile ground, right? The best they can get a win, but we can be sure of them getting a draw.
At least not getting fan support.
If I'm South Africa, and I'm playing in Durban instead of Pretoria, it's still South Africa.
Totally,
you understand? Man, so if I'm playing in South Africa, I'm expected to win the game in South Africa.
True.
So if I'm playing 2 foreign countries in my home, that's 6 points for me. And remember, Nigeria will most likely still go play those people in South Africa. Imagine going to a 60,000 capacity stadium
filled with South Africans when we are not playing shouting, South Africa and wishing us bad.
You understand? You understand? And this guy, it is what they are going to do.
Totally,
they are going to do it totally. Because I think it's an undue advantage.
South Africa would prefer that Benin goes to the World Cup than Nigeria goes to the World Cup.
We should write about it.
So, South Africa would prefer that Benin goes to the World Cup if they cannot go than for Nigeria to go.
But what the NFF should do is take this into consideration, write that letter, send it to FIFA, send it to CAF, and ensure that something is done. You said, I think before we came here, you mentioned something about Zimbabwe playing their first away game, home game in Rwanda. What's wrong with that? Take them to Cote d'Ivoire if that's the case. Because we need everything to be clear, to be open,
clean, and
clean.
Have the impression of fairness.
Yes.
Let's talk about that at this moment. Quick question, right? Someone said something. I am just asking you questions from what people have said. Someone has said that Jose Pesero at the World Cup qualifiers and Finidi George at World Cup qualifiers were just unfortunate. That they are not necessarily worse coaches than Shell. They just did not have Victor Osimhen. Is he the most important player in Nigeria right now?
I think Victor Osimhen is the most important player in Nigeria right now. And not having Victor Osimhen should not be the reason why a coach is not going to win a game. You have 23 players. 23 players you think will be able to win you a game.
Yes.
If Osimhen is playing and not scoring, other people should be scoring.
Yes.
If Osimhen is not around, other people should be able to lift the mantle. See, the bar between Osimhen and the next person behind is not heaven and earth.
Yes.
You understand?
In terms of numbers,
in terms of quality, in terms of number, it's not.
For those in camp, 26 goals for Osimhen, 18 goals for Tolu Arokodare.
So we have a Victor Boniface who deputized for,
I think like 12 goals or and give or take, yes.
So with that case, I think there should be no complaint about anybody saying that we didn't win a game because Victor Osimhen was not around. If Victor Osimhen is not around, other players, it should be an opportunity for you to go in. It's just like somebody going on leave, and you know that I'm actually a good person, right? And the moment my guy goes on leave, I can put in the work and probably get promotion.
All right, so let's talk about it. Eric Shell pulled a rabbit out of the hat in the game. I have not seen any Super Eagles team play with Lookman, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze in the same game at the same. So I have not seen a Super Eagles game with Lookman pairing Osimhen. He turned the formation around and got the victory. Personally, I was scared that if it doesn't work for us early, we might not have enough firepower in terms of wing play from the bench to give us extra momentum. But it worked out for him. Was that a tactical masterclass, or may we just go thank God they go?
I think it was. We've talked about this before, and we had a YouTube live where we talked about, and somebody mentioned that they will want a situation.
Mazi Wizzy on YouTube.
And there was also something that I said that I said something about us having very good players, and the coach needs to be adventurous.
Yes.
And I think that's what it is. For me, I actually didn't want a situation where we have like a Chukwueze, a Moses Simon, Ademola Lookman all in one place, because I know that those guys can be dangerous when they come off, when they come from the bench.
Yes.
So, but I think it's a good one for him.
Yes.
And I don't know, do you think he's going to continue it against Zimbabwe, or he will feel Zimbabwe is not a team as tactical as Rwanda?
I think we did like 2 to 3 different formations in the game against Rwanda, but I expect he's still going to start the way we started the game against Rwanda. That is very, very needed to ensure that momentum is maintained, and then it will keep confusing. Because, Baba, if I'm a defender for Zimbabwe, right, automatically Victor Osimhen is there. 2 players come to him. Now like gum, they did there, right? You have Moses Simon on one side. It means that the right back is occupied. You know if he move.
Yeah.
You have Samuel Chukwueze on the other side. Left back, no get where if you snooze, you don't fuck up, right? And then you then have the midfield of Iwobi and Ndidi and Ademola Lookman ahead of them. When the ball comes to Ademola Lookman, 5 and 6 cannot go up to help number 4 because Osimhen is there. Number 3 cannot try to block the space because Moses go leave and run. Same applies to number 2, right? You get, and their number 10 is in the same position with Ndidi. That means that Lookman can collect the ball, turn and run at a solo number 4. The moment a number 5 or 6 steps forward to help, it gives us Osimhen with only one person, and that's not something that even my enemy wants. You get, so I expect he's going to hold on to that because it gives him a lot more attacking options in transition. The most important part of the game is transitions when the ball comes to us. And credit must go to Alexander Iwobi. He was smart. I mean, I know when I want chop Iwobi, but he was massive.
No, but this time around, people actually give him credit.
He was massive in our transitions because when the 4 Musketeers, not 3 this time, have stepped forward to pressure, there's normally an 8-point and an 8-yard, 10-yard gap before Ndidi, right? And Iwobi runs into that space, reduces 8 to 10 yards to 4 yards, starts the marking from there, while our front men double back to ensure that we are safe. And that's some very, very serious stuff.
Quick one.
Yeah.
One, number 6, that's defensive midfielder in Ndidi, or do you want 2? Quickly.
I will stick with Ndidi only while Iwobi repeats what he did, central midfield and left of midfield. I'll maintain the exact same thing. Quite frankly, nothing is going to change. What of you?
I think for this game, for what he has tried in the first game, I think he should just continue. If you have a system that is working for you, continue with that system. If it's not working, then you can change it.
Which is what we did over and over again. Now, Genetro took us to a 3rd place finish. Jose Pesero, okay, so we have come for quarterfinals, no best. Pesero took us to a semi-final. We pray that our children are greater than us. Do you believe Eric Sekau Shele, Iyano Mashele, will take us to promised land of an AFCON victory?
So it's too early to start talking about this, right? I know we qualify for the AFCON easily. It's in December.
How many months?
December.
9 months time.
It's too far. So let's see what he can do.
With the next game?
No, not just the next game. This World Cup qualifiers. We have the international break,
window.
Then we have the September window.
Qualifiers.
So with that, then if you've seen that, right, then you now have that crystal ball to play.
Wait, make I hook you. Ultimate question. If by stroke of luck, 419, Wayo or Dabo, Eric Shell succeeds in qualifying us for the FIFA World Cup this window as number 1 in the group, is that the greatest comeback in our qualification? Is that the greatest comeback?
We have Durban 1993.
Okay.
But this will rank very high.
Okay.
For me, as somebody who didn't watch Durban 1993, this is going to be the best for me.
This will be the best.
But for those who watched the miracle of Saudi,
don't blame our generation. This will be like right there.
Yeah, this will be right there for me. This will be right there for me because this is a situation where a whole lot of people have given up hope.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
A lot of people have given up hope. And if you've given up hope and somebody brings that hope again and takes us to the World Cup.
He raises hope from the dead.
Now,
Korea.
That's really going to be massive for us.
All right. So, guys, Nigeria play Zimbabwe in Uyo tomorrow. The ultimate game, the game that determines if Rwanda was a fluke, the game that sets us on the right track for World Cup qualification. Thanks so much for joining with Victor Modo on YouTube. I had Ekerete Kelvin, one of the directors from Bold Sports, one of the fastest rising sports websites in Nigeria at the moment. Media startup. Media startup. They are not just a website. They are into a lot of things around sports. Media startup. Thanks for joining, guys. Watch this video, drop your comments, tell us what you think, and we'll see you on the live stream after the game.